So this thing that became this annoying stigma between classes in America manifested into getting our kids massively in debt for college degrees when they might need something else. And Mike Rowe is doing a great job, but the poor guy is also pigeonholed with being considered blue collar. What's up, people? Today I want to talk about the nature between what is considered blue-collar jobs, white-collar jobs, and going to college. Because I think we all realize the United States in many ways has gone off the tracks. There's a lot of misunderstanding, and frankly, I've seen this all firsthand from doing Genius Garage. And here's an article that recently came out in Business Insider with Mike Rowe, entitled, "Mike Rowe Says Going Straight from High School to College is a Horrible Mistake." And it says, President Barack Obama's daughter recently announced she'll be attending Harvard, but only after taking a gap year between high school graduation and freshman year. According to CNN's Mike Rowe, she's got the right idea. Well, I'm going to agree with Mike. Mike Rowe is a fascinating guy who, based upon his Dirty Jobs show, has given him an incredibly unique perspective. And I think we should be listening more carefully to Mike Rowe. And I think the reason why people are not listening carefully enough to Mike Rowe is pinpointing the exact underlying problem that exists with the stigma between blue collar and white collar and the nature of education. So I think you should read this article. But what I'd like to do is tell you the story of my own experience in high school, in college, and most especially with Genius Garage, and then bringing this together to the nature of Mike Rowe. So I grew up in a smaller town in Ohio, Tiffin, I think in the area of 20,000 people. It had a strong blue-collar side, manufacturing side, farming community, the whole area, great for farming. And then, as with anywhere, there's going to be some white-collar jobs around there. My family's business was a weird mix between blue-collar and white-collar. Even though I'm probably going to get angry comments right now from people in Tiffin about that. Because our job related to both. There's a white-collar aspect of entertainment relating to golf, but all of the maintenance to the place was more blue-collar jobs. It was all tractors and backlapping and working on machinery and agronomy and running tiles like a farmer. It was all watching the weather, my God. So it was a mix. And me being a mechanically adept young person and building things and working on cars, that's stuff that typically also would fall in what you would traditionally consider a blue-collar kind of lifestyle. And so I had this balance. I never fit in one place or another, but I saw it. And in high school, in Tiffin, there was, of course, the normal high school thing. You can do your thing. You've got science and math and all that sort of stuff. But there was something called Sentinel Vocational Center, if I got that right. And Sentinel was a super cool place. But at that time, which was in the 1990s, honestly, the people in the school looked down upon it. Because when people go to Sentinel, that's where the trades were. That's where you go to learn to be a machinist, welding, auto body, electronics. They also had like cosmetology, which, okay, there's going to be jokes about that. But all of those things are awesome, intelligent, scientific, engineering type things. But what was so sad is at that time, all the people in college really were assholes to everybody that went to Sentinel, looked down on them because they're blue collar. Like it really was some old school BS elitist crap. And because, like, I guess I was going to college, what did I know? I was a kid, you know what I mean? So I stayed at the normal high school and took all those classes. But truthfully, I wanted to go to Sentinel. I wanted to go to where the trade was. I wanted to learn electronics. I wanted to machine. All the stuff I wanted to build was there. But I didn't get to go. And I didn't think about it that much. But it was something I quietly saw. And it bugged me. But back then I didn't know anything about anything. I had no life experience. But and kids are jerks, especially a small town back then before the internet. Man. But I had friends that went to Sentinel, and I I always thought it was cool. So fast forward, went to college. I was in the realm of fine art, design, industrial design, and I did a lot of engineering related things at the Center for Automotive Research, and that's where I started to learn things like machining and welding and stuff like that. But the truth is I could have done that in high school. And if you fast forward to now, and me leading Genius Garage for, 6 years now, it's primarily for college engineers. And the incredible thing, and please listen to this moment, here's the key. Engineering students in colleges and universities now, all across America, can graduate a 4-year degree in mechanical engineering without ever touching a screwdriver. Yes, without building anything. Can they engineer? No, they're idiots. Industry thinks so too. I actually do meet and speak with CEOs of global manufacturing companies, heads of HR, managers. It could be anything from Tesla in California to Dana. I've got students now, my past students, working everywhere from GM to Tesla to Goodyear to Honda, etc. And I've got racing places that all want to hire them. Because Genius Garage gave them the opportunity to learn all those things that had been like pigeonholed and to be considered blue collar, as if there's something wrong with that. Actually work with your hands. Know how to be in a shop. Get out of the way. Sweep the floor. Get it done. No, we don't have time for you to sit on SolidWorks for the next 3 months. Draw it on a piece of paper. So, where did this all come from? And I'll do another video if you guys want, because it might be touchy, on the nature of blue collar versus white collar. And frankly, what those American subcultures can learn from each other. And I'll put it this way. If I ever got lost in the woods, I'd much rather be out there with some blue collar people who can get the job done. Know what I mean? So, what happened? Where did it all go wrong? Well, college preparatory, there's the nature of the economy after World War II. There was the nature of how everything was with the actual baby boomer generation. I'm not saying for all you young people out there, they're like, okay, boomer, for anybody over 35. But it's just, there's a natural progression that sort of set a stage that sort of created the right ecosystem for it. But as colleges were pushed and pushed, then you also got the nature of student loans, which grew and grew and grew. And it became a money machine. If you can tell a 17-year-old kid to go $100,000 in debt, you got them. They're yours. They're your slave. Let's be honest. It's a way to make money. So it was able to be pushed and pushed and pushed. And the reason right now people are finally talking about it is because we realize this has gone too far, and it's bad. My wife's father put himself through college selling pumpkins! Selling pumpkins! Think there's something wrong with college right now? I do. I'll give you another example. There's this thing out that exists in cities all around America called a library. It's free. You can make your own curriculum and go read books. But these colleges aren't teaching you to do anything practical. The trade schools have been, the trade schools were, but you all thumbed down your nose, called it blue collar, because you thought you're some elitist jerk. You're going to go make a bunch of money, be clean, not have to breathe anything, not have to bust your knuckle with something. So this thing that became this annoying stigma between classes in America manifested into getting our kids massively in debt for college degrees when they might need something else. And Mike Rowe is doing a great job, but the poor guy is also pigeonholed with being considered blue collar, just blue collar. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of those guys that are working are freaking brilliant and freaking geniuses on his old Dirty Job show, and they're rich too. Let me know how your liberal arts 4-year art degree is going for you. You could have just found a mentor. It's a fascinating thing that I've seen firsthand. And colleges, most especially loans, are out of hand. Completely out of hand. The first thing that needs to happen is we need to just stop our young people from going to college and going in debt for a degree that will not give them a job, or give them a job that can reasonably pay that back and give them a lifestyle. It just shouldn't happen. No bank. Well, that's the saddest part. No bank would loan a normal person money for a business enterprise that's that bad of an idea. Why are we destroying our youth? Why are we destroying the future over this? Are we over this class BS in America about being blue collar and white collar? I am. I work with my hands all the time. You think I could have built any of those cars of mine, the Batmobile race cars, taught these engineering students from college how to get on the winner's circle of Indy, if I didn't know how to do all that blue collar stuff? If I didn't have guys in that small town who were blue collar, working hard guys that taught me, that were mentors to me? Heck no. But I can promise you, if all you're going to do is go $100,000 in debt and go to college, and you do like one little program, or like one little project, and you think you're so great because you did one thing, and you think you're great because you spent all this money on a college degree, I can find a whole lot of people that the world would have thumbed their noses at. We can engineer in business circles around you. So I got to say, Mike Rowe, I think a lot of the guy, I don't think he was the person he is now before Dirty Jobs. If I got the story right, he was basically like a theater guy and tried out for Dirty Jobs, I think, on a dare. But what's interesting is it was kind of like the journey of the hero, in classic tales, like even Star Wars, the Iliad or the Odyssey. He was the everyman that just got onto this out of nowhere and went through this journey and he had the, and brought this to America of making these so-called dirty jobs and blue-collar things mainstream. And I think by making it that way, people can come to understand it, accept it, and also respect it. So, with regard to Mike Rowe saying going directly into college after high school is a bad idea, yeah, I think it is a bad idea. A 17, 18-year-old person, they haven't done anything. I mean, you guys are smart. I like you. We can do a lot if you've got a good mentor and worthwhile direction that suits you, not just what's been programmed into you by parents or something, but like you as a person. But you can also be led down the briar path or out into the proverbial woods. I was. You think my parents knew anything about this stuff? No way. They had fine art degrees in the 70s. You just got to get a college degree. You just got to get one. You just don't. My college degree hangs in my garage. There's a lot of other things that were a lot harder to get, more specialized, and mean a lot more to me than that. And I'm not even going to apologize for it. Of course, I got a lot of things I like in my garage, but it's in my garage. I kind of have a lot of disdain for that. It's funny. Another example. At Ohio State, I got into the industrial design program. They only accept like 16 people a year, and Ohio State's got a lot of people, so it was pretty darn hard to get into. And the program actually turned out to be complete and utter garbage. It was a joke. That's a story for another time. But the absurdity of this is, on the entrance exam, when I had to give like portfolio reasons and what I've done in my resume, I actually had already started a business designing car parts. I know it's going to sound silly, but for DeLoreans and Porsche 944s and stuff. And I used my old architectural and engineering drawing classes, yeah, literally a T-square and such, because you don't need computer all the time. Sometimes it's faster just to do that. And I designed some parts, and I drew them all out, and I gave it to a metal fabricator, and I started manufacturing parts and selling them. I had a little business starting. And I utilized the fact that I had the business to go to college. Why? I already did what college is supposed to help you get to do. Why was there no one that told me this simple, basic stuff? And the program turned out to be garbage. I could have stayed there for 4 years, and I still wouldn't have learned and been able to do what I was already doing to get in. And I finished college and I graduated, of course. So I ended up designing my own major. By the way, never design your own major. That is such a trap and BS. But regarding what Micro said about taking a year off, yeah, that's not a bad idea. I will, because it gives you the opportunity to learn to see, work, think. Make sure that if you're going the direction of college, that you're making the right investment. You need to think about that again. Investment. Like if you're investing in something that's supposed to give you an ROI, a return on investment. Get it? Not because, oh, it'll make your parents happy because they think it needs to be that way. Make sure that you're doing something that's going to benefit your life. And if you're not, go to the library or get a hobby. Man. But don't take way too much time off. Because the sad fact of the matter, and I've seen this with students and even my own experience, if you fit too far outside the bell curve in what the world's come to expect, the hiring world, it might be tougher if you wait a long time. So, if you're going to go get an engineering degree, it's a 4-year degree, you probably want to graduate by the time you're 25 or 26. So a little time off is a good idea, but if I can say anything right now and relating to what Micro said and just knowing him and what he's championed in the past, it's time for us to forget, absolutely forget, and stop talking about the whole notion of blue collar or white collar. I'm done with that. I'm done with that stigma. I'm done with those labels and those titles. And I'm done with the nature of how the cultures fight and clash. We're all people. We all have a great value to society. We all have talents. We all have intelligence. It's time. It's time. There's no more blue or white collar. Forget it. That's it. Because truthfully, if you pay attention to everything I do and have done in my past, it's mostly blue collar stuff. So for all my white collar friends out there that are watching, one of my buddies, I call him the desk jockey. He's very smart. He helped me with, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I needed help with Excel the other day with numbers. Doing a budget, which is very important, even if you are a smart blue collar related person and need to do a business or organization. But if his motorcycle ever breaks down, or we ever get lost in the woods, or we got to build a house, we got to do a lot of other things that build civilization, I have a feeling my so-called white-collar friends will be calling me in short order. Anyway, that's really it. Think about it. Give Micro more credit. Let's just stop talking about blue or white collar. That's dumb and old. There's no reason to even think about that anymore. And I guess as the last thing, I guess just a shout out or a tip of the hat to all my old friends out there that went to vocational school, that are working on cars for a living, machinists, just anything that somebody might consider a blue collar service job. I got your back, guys. In the meantime, if you guys enjoyed this, I hope you will share and, of course, like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.